Assalamu alaikum. So, dear first year students, how are you? Hope that you are well. I am also fine by the grace of Allah. So, you are welcome to this session now. So, let's start today. So, here I am with you today in another poem that is called Sonnet 18. So, today I would like to deliver a lecture on an important poem named Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. So here you can find that uh, this is the picture of William Shakespeare, and I would like to discuss the poem Sonnet 18. The another name of this poem is "Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day?" This is the another name written by William Shakespeare. So here you can find a picture. This is the picture of summertime in England. So there is an important connection of the summer day in England in this poem. So uh, after this lesson, I hope that after this lesson, you will be able to understand the poem very easily, and you will be able to make the answer of the following questions. And you will also are informed with some universal elements in this poem. So number one, the question number is that how does William Shakespeare glorify or immortalize his friend? That means how does William Shakespeare glorify or immortalize his friends or his friend's beauty? And then the question is what is sonnet? Evaluate sonnet 18 as a Shakespearean sonnet. And then another important question is that critical appreciation of this poem. And there are so many questions. You know that what is image, and there may be a question that what types of images does the poet use in this poem. So in this way, after listening this class, you will be able to deliver the answer of these types of questions. And most important thing is that you will be able to understand the poem of this poem is very easily. So you are ready to test the literature. So you are welcome to the field of William Shakespeare sonnet. So let's start now. So what is sonnet? If anyone asks you what is sonnet, you know that sonnet is a type of lyrical poem. Here you can find that sonnet is a type of lyrical poem with 14 lines. With 14 lines. Uh, Normally, these lines are composed with iambic pentameter. So you know that sonnet is a type of lyrical poem. A type of lyrical poem. Its quality, most important quality is that these types of poem will be lyrical, melodious, the rhyme scheme, and the use of figure of speeches declares that this poem has the quality of lyricism or lyrical. So must then another quality is that it must 14 lines. Sonnet must be within 14 lines. So sonnet is a type of poem with 14 iambic pentameter lines. If uh, we can briefly say that sonnet is a type of sonnet is a 14 iambic pentameter lines poem. So normally these lines are composed with iambic pentameter. So what is iambic and what is pentameter? So you know that iamb means a metrical foot. A metrical foot consisting of two syllables. It is called a foot. It's a measurement of the line of the poems. If you measure the line of the point, then this is called foot or meter. So iamb means a metrical foot consisting of two syllables. In this is a part. Here is two syllables. Syllable means what is syllable? Syllable means uh, the sound with one phase, the sound with clears with one pause, with one step in our tongue. So it is called syllable. So with unstressed and stressed. So you know that whenever there is two syllable, shall, shall, I, two syllable. We there is two step of our tongue, that shall, I. So there are two syllable here. So first one is unstressed, that means no press, no pressure here. And I, there is a pressure here. Whenever we pronounce I, we give a pressure, we give a stressed, and that is why it is called stressed, and it is unstressed. So shall I compare? So in this way, this is called I am. So I am means a type of food, a type of metrical food consisting of two syllables, and first one is unstressed and second one is stressed. Then this is called iambic. This is called iambic. So here you can find the poem's foot meter. So what is pentameter? Penta means five. Penta means five. Meter means foot. So a 5 foot line verse. A 5 foot line verse is called pentameter. Here is an example. You can say that shall I. There are two syllables. It is called a foot. And again compare another foot, the two, so another, and a thumb, mars day, mars day. So how many meter here, how many foot here? One, two, 3, 4, 5. So as there is 5 meter, as there is 5 foot, that is why it is called pentameter. Pentameter. This line is called pentameter. Why? Because there are 5 foot here. That is why it is called pentameter. And every meter consisting of two syllables. Every meter consisting of two syllables. And first one is unstressed and second one is stress. That is why it is called iambic. That is why it is called iambic. So iambic pentameter means the line where there are 5 foot and every foot has two syllables. First one is unstressed and second one is stressed. Then it is called iambic pentameter lines. So you know that William Shakespeare, in most of his sonnet, William Shakespeare writes in this way using iambic pentameter. So what is the most important feature of sonnet? So this is the quality of sonnet. This is the feature of sonnet, that sonnet's most important feature, most important characteristics of sonnet is that it must be within 14 lines. It is mainly written in iambic pentameter lines, and it has lyrical quality. So if anyone asks you what is sonnet, so what is the answer? You can try in your own way. The sonnet is a type of lyrical poem, mainly composed within 14 lines, and it is mainly written in iambic pentameter. So this is called sonnet. So as we are ready to read William Shakespeare sonnet, so we should know what are the qualities of Shakespearean sonnet, what are the features of Shakespearean sonnet. Here is an example. This is an example of iambic pentameter using shall I compare thee to a summer's day, thou art more love, lee and more temperate, per it. So in this way, you can practice in your home. So you can practice in your home. This is the this is very important for you. So this all the lines here, all the lines have 5 feet, and all the lines are unstressed and stress, following unstressed and stress. So this is the example of a sonnet. So what are the features? So now I would like to mention with you, I would like to discuss with you what are the features of Shakespearean sonnet. As we are ready to read about Shakespeare, so you know that every writers have some special qualities, have some special characteristics. So William Shakespeare has also some his special characteristics, his special qualities. So mainly Shakespearean sonnet are written in 14 iambic pentameter lines. Already you have known that mainly Shakespearean sonnet are written in 14 iambic pentameter lines. There are 14 lines in his poems, and these lines are composed within iambic pentameter lines. And another quality of Shakespearean sonnet, another features or characteristics of Shakespearean sonnet is that the lines are divided into 5 feet. Every lines of Shakespearean sonnet divided mainly into 5 feet and of two syllables each. already you are known. And the lines are arranged with three quatrains. What is quatrains? You know that. What is quatrain? You can try to search these types of question in your in Google engines, so you will learn better. So quatrain means a stanza with four lines. Quatrain means a stanza with four lines. Whenever a stanza is composed with four lines, and these lines are mainly within iambic pentameters, then this stanza is called quatrains. Then this stanza is called quatrains. So the lines are arranged with three quatrains mainly, three stanza. Every stanza has four lines, and a couplet. Couplet means concluding two lines, finishing concluding line. And concluding two lines are called couplet. So his poems, the sonnet of William Shakespeare, is arranged in this way that in Shakespearean sonnet there are three quatrains, 3 into 4 equal to 12 lines, and another two lines is called couplet, heroic couplet. It is also written in iambic pentameter, and it gives the concluding idea in the last two lines. What is the rhyme scheme of William Shakespearean sonnet? This is very much important for you. Rhyme scheme, rhyme scheme. So next I will discuss with you what is rhyme scheme. So rhyme scheme A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. Here you can find that 1 2 3 4 4 line, another 1 2 3 4 4 line, and another 4 line, three part, three stanza, and last two lines G G. So there are 3 3 and 3 plus 2 equal to 14 lines. So in this way his poems are divided, and this is the rhyme scheme of William Shakespeare sonnet. So the main theme is beauty. You know that beauty, love, etc. You know that the main theme of Shakespearean of any sonnet is that love, beauty, etc. So William Shakespeare mainly deals with his sonnet about the beauty of his friends, of his beloved maybe, or of his friends. So general beauty in general, or beauty of his particular friend, or anything. So this is the main theme of William Shakespeare's sonnet. He deals with mainly beauty, love, etc. in his sonnet. So lyrical. So it is also another important feature of William Shakespeare's sonnet. His sonnets mainly are very much lyrical. He gives all the instruments, all the elements that produce lyrical sense in his sonnet. So next we will discuss about it. So now you can say that this is the rhyme scheme or rhyme pattern. So this is the you can find here that this is the first quatrain, second four lines stanza, and the third quatrain and last two lines are heroic couplet. So we can explain that now. We give a b how you can give the rhyme scheme, how we can identify the rhyme scheme of the poem. So whenever we read the first line, shall I compare thee to a summer's day, day, the last sound of this line, the last sound, the final sound of the word, last sound of the word, day. So serially we put here a, as it is the first letter of alphabet. So we put it a. If the similar sound with a another, then this line is also is given a. If there is no similarities, as there is no similarities, so we give here the b, temperate, day, temperate. There is no similarity of the in sound. So that is why in first line we give a, and second line we give b. May. So may is similar sound with day, may. So as it is similar with a, so we give here a. Date, temperate, date. So as these lines, the finishing sound of this word is similar with temperate, so it is given b. So in this way you also can give the rhyme scheme. You also can identify the rhyme scheme of the poem. So a b. So then shines shines, the last line sound is shines. The shines is not similar here, so that is serially we give it C. Dimmed, dimmed. So dimmed is not similar anyone. So that is what is called D. Serially D, CD. Declines is similar with shines. So that is why it is given C. And untrimmed is similar with dimmed. That is why it is given D. So CD. And then fed, fed D, fed. So it is not similar here. So that is why it is given E. Onst. Here is no sound of onst. Then that is what is called EF. Serially E. Next E, there is F. So shade. Shade is similar with fade, and it is given E. And growest is similar with oest. So that is it is F. So EF. And finally C. There is no similar sound C. Like similar. There is no similar sound like C here. And that is it is given G. So these two lines are same. So D is similar with C. So that is why it is also given G. So in this way, GG. So this is the system of giving the rhyming scheme. So we are known that William Shakespeare used this pattern rhyme scheme, the A B, C D, E F, G. So in this way, now you can practice in your home. So now I would like to discuss with you about the key notes, key facts of the poem. So you know that Sonnet 18 is most important poem of William Shakespeare. So in this poem, mainly William Shakespeare deals with the beauty of his friend. The main theme of the poem is the beauty of his friend. So he wants to immortalize the beauty of his friends. That he used the theme of the beauty of his friend in this poem. And this poem, in the first quatrain, in the first four lines, the poet introduced the theme through a comparison. In the very beginning, we find that the poet used a type of comparison of his friend's beauty with the nature. So in the second and third quatrain, the poet developed the idea through contrast in the second and third stanza. And last two lines give a conclusion or make a comment about the friend's immortal beauty. In the last two lines, he gives a conclusion of the poem. In any sonnet, we find that last two lines give the conclusion, give the comments of the detailed theme of the theme in any poem. So use imagery. The poet uses here in this poem so many imagery. In the lecture one, you are informed about imagery. You know that image means picture of words. So whenever the poet writes something, they use images, so many images. And imagery means a complete picture produced by so many images. So now let's start the poem. Briefly, I would like to discuss with you the poem. Very briefly, I would like to discuss with you the poem. So you know that sonnet 18, the poem, another name is Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? This is another name of the poem. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Sonnet 18. So let's start to explain very briefly. I would like to explain the poem very briefly with you. The poet says, Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling birds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a day. So this is the first quatrain, first four lines. In the very beginning line, at the very beginning, the poet starts the poem with a question that shall I compare thee to a summer's day? The poet raised a question, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Why the poet used the image of summer's day? This is the image in this color. The lines which is designed with this color. There is a imagery. So imagery, you know that England is a cold country. As England is cold country, so summer is very much pleasant day. Summers is interesting season or time. Spring is very much interesting season or time of that country. So in England, summer is very desirable. Summer's day is very much charming, is very much interesting. Everyone is charmed with the day of summer in England, as it is a cold country. So the poet, firstly, at the very beginning, says that, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" That means, He makes a comparison between his friend and the nature or natural object, and then he says that, also he says that thou art more lovely and more temperate. And in the second line he shows that thou art more lovely and more temperate. Summer's day is very much interesting. Summer's day is very much pleasant. The temperature of summer is very suitable for the people of England. But but he says that the poet says that thou means his friend or his beloved. His friend is thou means you. Art means are. This is the writing style of Elizabethan period. More, the word more here, use the word more indicates that the poet glorifies his friend, the poet immortalizes his friend, the poet gives value the beauty of his friend more than the natural object. And thou are more lovely and more temperate. That means the beauty of his friend is more lovely, is more interesting, and is more pleasant, is more charming quality of his friend is much more interesting, is much more better than the charming quality of the summer's day. So in the first two lines we find that the poet use a comparison between the natural object and the charming quality of his friend. And then and then he says that rough winds do shake the darling birds of May, and summer's leaves hath all too short a day. He says that rough winds, you know that in summer there is rough winds to shake the darling birds of May in the time of spring, and the darling birds, the beautiful bird, and the small flower, the beautiful bird is shaked by the rough winds. That means there is a decline, spoil and destruction in nature. Spoil and destruction is very common. Destruction and decay is very common in natural object. Is very common in nature. So, and summer's lease had all to short a day. Summer's time, lease means time here. Summer's time had all too short a day. This summer is very much interesting for the purpose of England, for the context of England, but this summer has a this summer has a short time. After the duration, the summer's time will end, will finish. That means everything in nature has destruction and decay. Everything in nature, after a time being, will destroy easily, will destroy normally. So in the first four lines, in the first stanza, the poet introduce the theme. What is the theme? The poet introduce the theme that the beauty of his friend is the theme of this poem, and the beauty of his friend is much more charming and interesting than the summer's day, than the natural objects. As the summers has a short time, it will destroy. And there is rough winds, as the rough winds in nature, so the rough winds destroys the darling birds of May. So this is the factor in the first four lines, that he introduced the theme. That in what is the theme is the beautiful, the beauty of his friends is much more charming, much more interesting than the beauty of nature. And in the second stanza, second quatrain, he says that sometimes toward the eye of heaven shines, sometime toward the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dim. Sometimes toward the eye of heaven. In summer, sometimes at times, eye of heaven means the sun. Sun shines very hotly, and the sun shines very hotly, and often is his gold complexion dim. Gold complexion is the ray of sun. The ray of sun dimmed, dim, dim light, like dim light, fade away. So these two lines says that in the summer season, sometimes the eye is very hot, is very is very the sun gives very much heat, is very hot, and often is his gold color. Sometimes the sun gives dim light, as there is cloud times in the sky. So that is why this is the variation in nature. This is the variation in nature. So and then he says that Shakespeare says that, and every fair from fair sometime declines. This is much more interesting line. It's a philosophical line here, my dear students. Here you can find that William Shakespeare gives a philosophy of life, that every fair from fair sometime declines. This is the new universal truth in nature. Every fair from fair sometime declines. We know that we the human beings, at times we are very much young, we have much more energy, but at times we lose our energy, we lose everything, we become old. Everything in this nature, everything in this world, everything in this world sometimes declines his fearful quality, charming quality of everything. This is the universal truth. This is universal truth in nature, in everything, that every fair from fair sometimes declines. Every beauty is must face destroy or destruction by chance or nature changing course unframed. This distraction may occur by chance, accidentally, or nature change or normally. Natural, normal tendency of life. It is a normal tendency of life. So in this stanza, William Shakespeare tries to give this philosophy that the normal tendency, what is the tendency of nature, that nature in sometimes it is very much shyness, is very much charming, and sometimes it shows dim, it becomes fade away, and in this way every fair from fair, everything in this world is bound to decay and destruction. This destruction may occur by chance or nature changing choice. That means the natural object must face the natural object must face the destruction by chance or naturally, accidentally or normally. By it, the nature must face the destruction. This is the theme of this line actually. So in the sixth line, in the eight lines, first eight line, we find that William Shakespeare introduced the theme. This is called octave. First eight line is called octave, and then the second line, the second sixth line. But the eternal summer shall not fade. Then he gives the main theme that, but the eternal summer, making a comparative, making a compare with nature. William Shakespeare gives the solution that, but thy means his friend's beauty, his friend's eternal summer shall not fade. That's a normal summer in nature will fade, but his friend's summer, that means his friend's charming quality, shall not fade, nor loss possession for that fair thou owest. That means he says that the fair that you, my friend, owest, that the fair, the beauty that you have, this fair, this beauty never lost, never lost. Even nor shall death break thou wanderest in his shade. Even death will not fade you. Even the death will not distract, will not destroy the beauty, the charming quality that you possesses. When in eternal, why death becomes fail to destroy his friend's beauty? Because when in eternal lines to time thou growest, because he gives the immortality, his friend's charming, his friend's beauty with his eternal line. That means eternal lines means this sonnet. This is a piece of art. In this line, these two lines gives the permanency of art, supremacy of art over life. Art is permanent. Art is permanent. Art can give the life permanency. Art can make life immortal. He gives the last two lines, concluding two lines. He says, very fantastic, very interesting line. Dear students, you will memorize the lines. You will memorize the line. You will memorize the line. So long as man can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this gives life to thee. This sounds is very assonance. This sounds is very interesting. So long as man can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. And the last two line, William Shakespeare said that so long as man can breathe, so long as man live in this world, or eyes can see, or human existence prevails in this world, so long lives this. This means this sonnet, this piece of art. So long this piece of art will exist in this world, so long the human beings exist in this world, and this gives life to thee. Until then, your beauty, the charming of your quality, never destroy from this world. As I have written the charming quality of you, my friend, in this sonnet, in this poem, in this piece of art. So you becomes immortal. So you becomes immortal. So in this way, William Shakespeare glorifies. his friend's beauty here. In this way, William Shakespeare gives the immortality, he makes immortal his friend's beauty by writing this sonnet, by creating an art by in this poem in English literature. So in this way, he immortalizes, he glorifies his friends. So this is in brief about the poem. So now I would like to discuss with you for your exam preparation. So how you can prepare the answer, how you can prepare the answer. The first question was that how does the poet glorifies? The students understand, and how does the poet glorifies or immortalize his friend or his friend's beauty? So at the very beginning, you can give an introduction. You can give an introduction that William Shakespeare is very interesting. He is very famous. Mainly, he is a dramatist, but he also writes so many sonnets. Mainly, he deals his sonnet, the beauty of his friends. So, Sonnet 18 is the supreme example of written by William Shakespeare, that he uses the beauty, where he glorifies or immortalizes the beauty of his friend. So now I would like to discuss how I would like to discuss through the light of poetry how William Shakespeare glorifies or immortalizes his friend's beauty. So in this way, you can give an introduction very beginning, and then you can start the writing. You can start in this way, point by point, that compares with nature. You can say that in the very beginning of the poem, that in the very beginning of the poem we find that William Shakespeare compares his friend's beauty with summer's day, with the natural object, and he shows in this poem that the nature has a tendency of destruction. Everything in nature will destroy one day, but the charming quality of his friend never and ever destroys. The charming quality of his friends are more lovely and more temperate. As the charming quality of his friends are more lovely and more temperate than the summer day, so that is why his friends' beauty will ever changing, will not ever changing. So in this way, William Shakespeare glorifies his friends' beauty. So in the second stanza, you can explain in this way the changing tendency in nature. So you can say that we find that in nature there is a changing tendency in nature. Changing tendency is very common in nature. In every natural object, there is a changing quality. You can give the example from lines here. You can quote the lines in your proof, in the proof. But the friend's beauty is not is never changeable. The charming quality of his friend is never changeable. Why? Because he gives a permanency writing this sonnet, writing this poem. So everything is decay. Then you can explain everything is decaying. So you know that you can quote the line, you can quote the lines from the poem, that everything is decaying in this world. Everything is decaying. Every fair from fair sometimes decline. Everything is decaying. It is a very common, but his friend's beauty will never decay. Will never decay. Beauty is everlasting. His friend's beauty is everlasting. His friend's beauty is everlasting. You can explain from the poem. Charming quality of his friend's beauty is immortal. This stanza you can explain here from your book. In your book, Introduction to Poetry, question number 3 maybe. In your book, Introduction to Poetry, question number 3, write down in your book Introduction to Poetry, volume number 1, write down in your book Introduction to Poetry, volume number 1, broad question number 3. You can read the answer of this of the book, and you find you arrange the answer point by point from that from her, and then you can memorize or you can try to write answer in your own way. So permanence of art already I've discussed with it. Permanence, he shows the permanence of art. So in this way, he gives the permanent shape of his friend's beauty. In this way, he glorifies or he immortalizes his friend's beauty. You can explain here. So another question is that critical appreciation. So what is critical appreciation? In the same way, critical appreciation, you can make an introduction that William Sonnet 18 is a finest example of sonnet by William Shakespeare. It is a complete sonnet. It is a fantastic sonnet where William Shakespeare glorifies his friend's beauty. So this sonnet maintains all the quality of Shakespearean. In this way, you can give an introduction, and then sonnet 18 is an you can explain the stanza. Sonnet 18 is an important is an immortal sonnet by William Shakespeare. He he draws the picture of his friend's beauty in this sonnet very nicely. So the poem is a Shakespearean sonnet. You can explain how it will be, how it becomes a Shakespearean sonnet. Then you can say that yeah, that lyrical, the sonnet has all the quality to be a lyrical poem. The theme, you know that the theme is the beauty of his friend's figure of speech. You can use this for the figure of speech. You know that anaphora, assonance, imagery, and these are the use and the metaphor. These types of figure of speech use, you can give the proof in which lines in your book, volume number 1, question number 2. Maybe here you can find this answer. Rhyme scheme. What are the rhyme scheme? I have discussed rhyme scheme. What is the rhyme scheme? The rhyme scheme of Shakespearean sonnet is that A B A B C A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. This is the rhyme scheme, and this poem is divided into three quatrains and one couplet. So in this way, you can explain in this stanza. So in this way, you can prepare the answer of critical appreciation in your own way. In your own way, the students try, practice. You can. If you never practice, you never can. So another answer, very important question is that as a Shakespearean sonnet, evaluate. There is a question that evaluate sonnet 18 as a Shakespearean sonnet. So is this question is very much important for your exam. So at the very beginning, you will give an introduction that Shakespearean sonnet. The sonnet 18 is a supreme example of Shakespearean sonnet. This is the finest and beautiful sonnet by William Shakespeare. It is in number 18. So in this sonnet, William Shakespeare gives glorifies his friend's beauty. So now I would like to prove this sonnet as a Shakespearean sonnet, and then you can write in this way. You will say that we know that Shakespearean sonnet is mainly written in 14 iambic pentameter lines. In we find this poem is also written with 14 iambic pentameter lines. So it is a supreme example of Shakespearean sonnet. And then the lines are divided into 5 feet of 2 syllables. You know that the quality of Shakespearean sonnet is that the lines of the sonnet divided into 5 feet and every feet have 2 syllables. We find that in this sonnet also every line is composed in this way, and the lines are arranged into three quatrains. This is the quality of Shakespearean sonnet. And the rhyme scheme, this is the rhyme scheme of Shakespearean sonnet. Shakespeare follows the rhyme scheme very nicely. Main theme is beauty. This is also very much important. Lyrical, this poem has lyrical, and then you can give a conclusion. So in this way, you can write in your own way. You can write the answer in your own way. The students, I request you to start and practice in your own way. If you try, you can. In your book, so in your so I'd like to give an advice to you that so try to write answer in your own way. Practice more, you can, inshallah. So in your there is a homework for you that in your volume number, this is the book of introduction to poetry. This is the book of introduction to poetry, and in this book volume 1, you can take the answer, broad question number 1, 3 and 4. Write down broad question number 1, 3 and 4. Broad question number 1, 3 and 4. And short question number, write down 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. You read these questions and then you write in your own way. Inshallah, you can. So dear students, thank you very much. In the next class we will discuss about another poem, inshallah. So I hope that you will understand the poem. You can write the answer in your own way. So thank you very much.